Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2023-24 season. My name is Dan and it's time for our Gameweek 28 episode of the 100 Experts, and this is probably the craziest episode we have ever recorded. The results from our 100 Experts today have really left me absolutely baffled, and I cannot wait to share the data with you guys. Transfers, chip strategy, and a little bit more as well. Guys, it's a wild week. Let's get started. So first of all, thank you to the 100 experts this week who have given us all kinds of weird and wonderful answers, some crazy trends that are emerging that I cannot wait to share with you guys and get your thoughts on this one, because it's quite wacky. It really is. But yeah, massive shout out to these guys. Make sure you do go check them out. If you see them on any socials, make sure you are following them and subscribing to them as well. Let's see what they're up to. So out of our 100 expert managers this week, 30% are making just one transfer this week, but we've got 36% making 2 transfers this week. So already you're probably seeing a trend towards transfers this week, because we've got 17% of our managers making 3 or more transfers. Yes, some people are actually making 4 transfers this week. I think there's 4 people making 4 transfers this week, which is pretty crazy, pretty extraordinary. A lot of hits are being taken this week. A lot of people are going all in this game week with their transfers. In fact, we've also got 17% using their wildcard. We've spoken a little bit before about a potential strategy involving wildcarding in maybe game week 27 or 28. This week it is we're seeing a lot of our managers using that game week 28 wildcard strategy, where they're looking to navigate game week 29 without the use of a free hit, which is absolutely fine. Some people will be already set up for 29, some people will be free hitting in 29, but a lot of our experts will be wildcarding this week in order to set up, which is definitely a valid transfer, because a valid strategy, because we've got so many of our experts doing it. 17% is quite a significant number. So yeah, shout out to you guys who are wildcarding it this week. If you want to check out my wildcard video, we posted that on Sunday if you want to check that out. We have got 0% not making a transfer this week. I think that is maybe one of the first times, if not the first time, this has ever happened. I can't remember seeing a game week before where we've had no people making no transfers. That's certainly the first time this season. It might have happened like once in the last few years, but yeah, really bizarre game week where people are going crazy with the transfers and no one is rolling. It's all about making transfers this week. So let's start talking about what kind of transfers you might be thinking about making. So first of all, the most popular Game Week 28 transfers in the world. So this is the overall data. We see Solanke way out in first with 280,000 transfers in for him already. So a big transfer in for Solanke and his double game week coming up. Obviously, he is fit now because he played in Game Week 27, so the concerns about his fitness are now in the past, and you can obviously see the transfers are reflecting that. A lot of people, this number's only going to go up as well. You can see this number reaching close to 1 million, maybe even by the time we hit deadline, because everyone who hasn't got Solanke is bringing in Solanke in the overall player base. Morris is coming in here second, 200,000 plus transfers in for him. We've got Son in there third, Doughty and Bowen making up the top 5 for heavily transferred in players in the overall player base. But what we need to find out is, are these players popular among our experts as well? And which ones maybe our experts are not looking at bringing in at all. So let's start off with players who our experts like. Solanke, Morris, Son, Doughty, Bowen, Neto, and this is the goalkeeper Neto, by the way, guys, Norberto Neto at Bournemouth, and Zabarnyi as well. So these are all being heavily bought in by our experts as well. So these are popular picks in the overall player base, but also among our experts. Is there any players who are not highlighted right now that maybe our experts are okay with? You know, maybe some transfers in for them? Well, actually, no. Because Foden, Watkins, Areola, Romero, and Douglas Luiz are all seeing 0 transfers in for any of those players. And considering how many transfers are being made by our experts this week, nobody is bringing in any of these players. And in fact, some of them are actually being sold as well. So what do you reckon, guys? Do you think that these players are just not players to bring in this game week? Maybe Watkins is also already heavily owned. So is Foden. I guess so is Areola as well. So maybe they're not being brought in because people already own them to a degree. I think that's there's definitely some debate to be had around some of these players. But yeah, certainly no one bringing in Romero. None of our experts own him before, and none of them will be bringing him in this week either. And Douglas Luiz, yeah, he's a player that our experts don't really seem to like, even though he has scored some points in the past. But yeah, Foden, Watkins, Areola in particular, to see those names on there, no one transferring any of those players, and yeah, it seems to be all about some of these green highlighted players. But we need to go into a little bit more detail. But first of all, let's see who our experts are selling. All right, this is where the craziness starts. It really does start right now. I mean, arguably, it's already started with the amount of transfers being used, the amount of hits being taken by our experts this week. But, yeah, it's not often you see a fully fit Erling Haaland, the most transferred out player of the game week. This is bizarre. I mean, he doesn't even have a blank game week this week. Yeah, people are selling him, but hey, what can I say? 39 transfers out for Erling Haaland, plus anyone who is wildcarding might be removing Haaland as well. That is big numbers. That is a significant trend that our experts are going down the route of selling Haaland in order to move to some other forwards this game week. Now, of course, Haaland plays against Liverpool this week, has a blank game week in 29, and then in game week 30, he plays against Arsenal. So the next 3 fixtures are not great for Haaland. Of course, if you're free hitting in 29, then you might want to think about not selling Haaland, but it does seem that a lot of people who are planning into going into game week 29 without using any chips will be selling Haaland this week. And that's a lot of people. It really is a lot of people. A few other players that you might think are more acceptable to sell. Estupinian, for example, and Trippier in there. Trippier injured, Estupinian rotation risk. You can understand why these players are being sold. Trippier is not looking likely to play for the next couple of weeks. You know, he is going to be back at game week 30, kind of at the earliest it looks like at the moment. Foden is an interesting one. Bit of a crazy one given the form that he's in at the moment. But again, another Man City player making way over the next 3 fixtures, which aren't good for Man City. Maybe Foden needs to go as well. I don't know. I feel like I would kind of want to hold on to some of these players, but have to remain impartial in these videos. I'll try and probably fail, but we'll give it a go. Nathan Ake, definitely understand the transfer out from him. Darwin, De Bruyne, Heat-Chance, Senesi, Tony Walker. I think some of these other ones are a little bit more understandable, but I have to say, Haaland and Foden, I can't argue with the numbers. They are being transferred out by a lot of our experts, and it's not really for me to question it. But still, I am questioning it. So, guys, let me know what you think. What do you think about people selling Haaland, people selling Foden? Is it as crazy as it sounds, or is it sensible given in the fixture run that we have over the next 3 fixtures? Are you a fixture kind of FPL manager, or are you a form kind of FPL manager? I guess that is going to kind of define your opinion on this one. Transfers in Morris. Okay, now we're talking. Carlton Morris is a player who has 3 fixtures in the next 2 game weeks, and no players outside of Luton Town can boast that impressive resume there. Yeah, 2 fixtures in this game week, which are pretty decent against Bournemouth and Crystal Palace. That's going to be okay, definitely. And I think the real benefit here is for those people who are not free hitting in 29. Morris is the answer to a lot of your problems. I think he really kind of is, because of that ability to play 3 fixtures in 2. No other player can do that at the moment. So huge advantage there for Morris. He's on penalties. He's nailed on at the moment. He's in reasonably good goal scoring form as well, with some decent underlying numbers to back him up. At 5.1 million, he seems to be a very, very strong and solid transfer in. So guys, if you can get to him, then definitely do it. And if you are, you know, following the experts, maybe you are selling Haaland in order to do that. There are some other very popular players here as well among our experts. Doughty is in here as well. Obviously, the creative force of that Luton Town team with the double game week this week. And Solanke coming in 3rd. Obviously, a lot of people already had Solanke, but maybe if they didn't have Solanke, the last few non-Solanke owners, I say few, it's 28 of them, now bringing in Solanke for this game week. Hopefully, that is going to work out pretty well. Zabarnyi is the new Bournemouth defensive hype after Senesi's injury, so he has been brought in by 21 of our experts as well. And after that, we see the likes of Bowen, Son, Barkley, Kirkez, another Bournemouth defender there, and Neto, the Bournemouth goalkeeper. And those are the most popular transfers in. Again, what do you think about this one? We're seeing Man City players leave and Luton Town players coming in. It's a little bit of a crazy situation. I don't think any of us would have thought we would be selling Man City players for Luton Town players for hits, but here we are. This is the situation we've been presented with, and FPL is a crazy game, and it's truly showing how crazy it is at this moment. So, based on all of that information, let's suggest some transfers for you. So I can't quite believe I'm saying this, but our first suggested transfers are to move Haaland out for Morris and Solanke. Yeah, it's really crazy when you think back to the beginning of the season. Did you think you would ever be selling a fully fit Haaland for a Morris or a Solanke? No, but double game weeks and blank game weeks and fixtures do definitely play a part in this one. So if you are looking to navigate game week 29 without the use of a free hit, it might actually be a good idea to start selling some of those Man City assets to get some Luton Town or Bournemouth assets indeed. So yes, Haaland to Morris or Solanke is going to work for many of you guys. Foden to Bowen, I think is a little bit more out there. I'm struggling a little bit more with this one, to be honest, but Bowen has the better fixture against Burnley, and if you are a fixture over form type of FPL manager, then you're probably going to back a player like Bowen over Foden, who has obviously been in good form, but he does face Liverpool, which is a tougher fixture. So I'm going to put it down as a suggested transfer based on the information we've gathered for this video, although I am not fully comfortable saying it. Just wanted to put that one out there. But yeah, let's move on, because we have to make another Foden out transfer. Now, Foden to Son, I think I understand this one a little bit more, to be fair, because Son is obviously a top quality, top class player. We did see a few of our experts moving KDB out for Son as well, so you might want to consider that move as well if you haven't done already. But yeah, putting it out there. If you want to buy some players for Gameweek28, someone's got to give. Something's got to be sacrificed, and maybe a Foden is the player that you might have to sacrifice for this game week. And finally, let's do two final transfers suggestions here, which do make a hell of a lot of sense. Probably no matter who you are, what your strategy is right now, what kind of FPL manager you are, these transfers are just pretty much straight up sensible. If you're looking for a new defender, you want to replace the likes of a Stupinian, who has been a rotation risk and has poor fixtures after the Gameweek29 blank, or Trippier, who's injured, blanks, might be a good after that, but at 6.9 million, can you afford to keep him around for this much longer? Particularly if you want to get Salah back in your team very soon, maybe after the international break and the blank, then Doughty and Zabarnis are your friends. These are the two defenders that our experts really do recommend, and I'm definitely happy to recommend them as well. Doughty and Zabani seem to be the guys, just the guys to go for if you're looking for a new defender this game week. So those are our suggested transfers based on our expert data. Let's have a look at some captaincy and then a bonus question at the end too. So, talking about captaincy, you guys will be interested to know that 3% are actually using their triple captain this week. So, we've got 3 of our 100 experts using the triple captain chip. Maybe didn't use it in Game Week 25 on Haaland and are looking for another opportunity. Could this be the opportunity with Solanke with these 2 phenomenal fixtures? And once again, we've got another crazy situation in this game week, because we see a 94% captained Solanke. Absolutely crazy, insanely high numbers. We don't often see a player quite this high, and there's such a big consensus around our FPL experts. So guys, if you are wondering who to captain this week, the answer is Solanke. It just seems too obvious at this point. You know, it's just such a huge number here. And although we do have a couple of other players who are being captained by experts, Morris at 5%, do understand that to a degree, but you know, Solanke is really the player who has been more consistent, more reliable this season, plays for a better team, more likely to get bonus points as well, and has slightly better underlying numbers. So although Morris's form has been better, you know, all of these other factors with Solanke, including the fact that Solanke, you would say, probably has better fixtures as well, heavily points towards Solanke as the player to captain this game week, and a potential triple captain as well, for those of you guys who still have that chip in your back pocket. But do not want to discount Morris here, because 5%, that is the beginning of a trend among our experts. And we do finally have a 1%er, Jarrod Bowen, one of our experts captaining him. I don't really understand this one, to be honest. Maybe you guys can shed some light on this one, but yeah, it seems a bit random, to be honest. But yeah, if you want to captain Bowen against Burnley, one of our experts is doing that. I don't know why, but they are. I have to just present the data that I'm given, so it's there. But yeah, guys, it's a Solanke captain week. It's so obvious. It really, really is clear. These numbers are huge. We can't argue with these numbers. Solanke captain, come on. And our bonus question this game week was, how many double game week players will you have for game week 28? So we're going to find out how many. So going into this game week, we have got a real spread. You can have anywhere between 1 and 6 double game week players for game week 28. None of our experts have none, so all of them have at least 1. But yeah, we've got a real spread here. So for in terms of 1 player, we've got 4 people with just 1 double game week player. We've got 25 with 2 double game week players. 3 of our managers have three players is done by 31 of our managers. I'm confusing myself here, guys. Yes, 31 of our managers have 3 players for the double game week. 21 have 4 players, 12 have 5 players, and 7 have 6 players. So there is a slight trend towards 2, 3, or 4. That is kind of roughly the number most of our experts are going to have going into this game week. The average is 3.33. So if you're looking for the average amount of double game week players you're expected to have this week, it is 3.33, so round 3, which makes a little bit of sense, I would say. But I have to say that is inflated a little bit by the wild carders, because in terms of those with 5 or 6 double game week players, that is pretty much dominated by the wildcarders. The 17 wildcarders are all of them have either 5 or 6 double game week players going into this game week. So that has really inflated the numbers on the higher end. I think if you are not wildcarding, you're probably closer to 3 on average, maybe just below 3. So yeah, I just wanted to put that one out there as well. If you've got 3 double game week players, I think you're in a good situation. Even if you've got 2, you are in good company. 4 would be nice, of course, but as we go a little bit higher than that, it's pretty much going to need a wild card in order to get a 5 or a 6. It's really, really rare for non-wild carders to have that kind of number of double game week players. So yeah, there we go, guys. Let me know, of course, how many double game week players you are going to have for game week 28. Are you finding yourself about average, below average, above average? What do you think about that one? Do you think you're in a good position or not? Be keen to see, well, the comment section where you guys are at now we've heard from the experts. But that is going to wrap things up for today, guys. If you did enjoy this one, make sure you do drop a like, do subscribe if you are new around here. There's plenty more game week 28 content on the channel right now if you want to go check it out. I've left a link for another video there for you to check out right now. We'll be back tomorrow for my team selection video, and then finally we'll be talking some final decisions, and we'll do some streams as well. Guys, thanks for watching once again, and I will see you later.